¿Qué tal? Muy buenas noches a todos y sean bienvenidos una vez más a otra edición de Cuenta de Tres, el programa número 1 de información del mundo de la lucha libre en Argentina y tal vez en Latinoamérica. ¿Cómo saberlo? Pero bueno, gente, hoy estamos solamente con audio por inconvenientes técnicos. Inconvenientes técnicos no, nosotros nos las rebuscamos como podemos. Y acá estamos, más internacionales que nunca, con una nueva superestrella del mundo del wrestling. Así que ya lo estuvimos anunciando, pero bueno, vamos a hacer nuevamente, como siempre, un switch al inglés para recibir a nuestro invitado del día de hoy. I'm going to switch to English now to present the a person who doesn't need introduction. Like I say, he is already announced that he's going to be here, so all the eyes are on him now. Please welcome to Sean Maluta.
What's going on? I should have probably said all ears on me, but I'm sure you guys get the point.
Yeah, we got the point. So it's ready. All the ears, all the eyes, everything is on you now. So Sean, first of all, thank you very much for visiting us, for accepting this interview. I know that you're busy. I know that you just got out of training. You just got out of the ring, right? At this very moment.
Yes, that's correct. Anytime, you know. I appreciate you having me on.
How was the training tonight?
It was good. Today was a fun day. You know, a lot of open ring, a lot of just a lot of practice, going over some different techniques. It was good. You know, Wild Samoan Training Center. That's where I train at. We're located right outside of Orlando, Florida. And, it's the best school in the world. It's world renowned. And, we train a couple of days here during the week. So just got out of doing that.
Great. That's a very famous name in the business of wrestling. But we're going to jump into that in a few minutes. What I think is a very good way to start this interview is by asking you, how was your first encounter or your first contact with the world of wrestling?
Oh, well, ever since I can remember, being born, I've had a lot of family members around me, associated with wrestling. The main one being my Uncle Alpha, and I don't know. I just fell more and more in love with it over the years. It just became something that I was damn near obsessed with. And it takes over your life. And I don't know if it was just my case. Being around it since I was a kid, and just loving every part of it, trying to be around it as much as possible. Always recording and VHS taping everything that I could. Just being the biggest fan of it that I could, and I just loved it. And to this day, I don't think there's anything like it. But at the time, I was doing my training in Pennsylvania. That's where our school was, and I had to be 14 years old to, be taken serious with that, and I guess legally be in the ring. So that's what I waited for. I got about 4 years in of training until I had my first match when I was 18. Once again, same environment, WXW, owned by my uncle, the training center, the same deal. So that's where I got my start. That's where I've developed my skills over the years. And, once I was 18 and had that first match, I was off to the races.
No, so your very first match was at the age of 18, very young.
Yes.
Wow, that's great.
I actually, I started training when I was 14, and I felt like I was ready to go a few months in, and I absolutely begged my uncle to wear a mask and all this kind of stuff to get me on the shows early, but, I had to wait till I was 18, for legal reasons, so,
I see. I see. And did you win your first match?
I think we went to a 10-minute time limit draw, actually.
Oh, wow.
It was against another one of the students at the training school who I was familiar with at the time, and it was probably the guy that I worked with the best at the time, which is why my uncle paired us together. So You know, backtracking that, I might have been in a battle royal before that. You know, I guess that would technically be the first, but if you're talking the first singles match, you know, that was it.
Okay, good, good. And talking about your, well, that was a teenager, but when you were a child, who were your favorite superstar or wrestlers?
The Ultimate Warrior for sure. You know, being around, I'm sorry, just the, you know, the colors, the crazy entrance, you know, the charisma. Um, you know, I think he was the first guy to really draw me. I wasn't too much of a Hogan guy, and I know for a lot of people it's like one or the other. You know, you grow up, you know, having one of those two as your favorites. But for me, it was the Ultimate Warrior, and you know, later, maybe a couple of years later, I moved on to Shawn Michaels, and you know, I don't think anybody could still touch that man. You know, I just followed him all the way from the Rockers on to the Intercontinental stuff, and then eventually the heavyweight stuff. He's just a complete package for me, and you know, somebody I try to model myself off of. So
Mhm.
I think, you know, I think all your favorites kind of contribute, you know, to you in a certain way. At least they did for me. I just loved the athleticism that he brought, and you know, he had a pretty inspiring style to watch, being a
Mhm.
smaller guy and you know, being in there and going toe to toe with any big guy you threw at him. So I would say to start, definitely Ultimate Warrior and Shawn Michaels.
Good, good, good. Very interesting. Awesome wrestlers as well. For me,
Yes.
great. Let's jump back. Let's jump to the subject we were talking at the beginning. Your trainer was Anoa'i. Like I say, it's a very important name in the wrestling business. Very important name. Um, so, do you think this is a question that came from Damien, who you were talking to recently? Do you think the Samoan wrestlers have developed their own wrestling style? What do you think about this? And please tell us a little bit about it. What do you think?
Oh, that's an interesting one. Uh, I definitely have to agree, and I don't know if I sound biased by agreeing, but I truly believe that in my heart. You know, everybody in my family, you know, has that certain style, that certain savage type of style that, you know, can't be taught. You know, it's the body movement in the ring, it's the facials, it's you know, the character, the custom, the culture is nothing like it, and you know, it goes hand in hand with wrestling. Apparently, you know, I don't know if there's any other family out there that, you know, really you know, reaches a certain amount of success, or you know, is, you know, you had the Hearts, of course, and you know, families like that, very well respected, well known, but you know, we're definitely keeping them coming, and the best is yet to come. So that's the scary part. But I definitely think it's a style that you know, it was created within. You know, um, you can go back to the High Chief Peter Maivia, and then of course the Wild Samoans, and then, you know, a little bit later on, you know, the Head Shrinkers, and this, my favorite, the Samoan SWAT team. You know, it's just a certain style that you know, I think many people can't really duplicate. So I think that's pretty cool.
Mhm. Okay, great, great. Um, let's move forward to, well, it's in the past, but we're moving forward in your wrestling career. WXW, the World Extreme Wrestling promotion, 2008. There was a tag team match that you had with Johnny Mankey as your partner, right? Am I correct?
Yeah, yeah, Johnny Mangwe, yeah.
Good, good, good. Johnny Mac. Okay, great. And can you describe what your feelings about that match and your thoughts about entering the wrestling business there at that
Oh,
moment?
yeah. Well, entering the wrestling business, you know, I didn't see myself doing anything else. So it was just a matter of being old enough to do it and building my body up and getting things together, which, you know, is a full-time deal, full-time job. But my old partner, Johnny Mangwe, I actually grew up with him. We met through Taekwondo, karate. You know, we studied martial arts together. And it was a legit thing, man. It was a really cool thing to be a part of. Uh, and you know, we just that was our common bond, you know, right off the rip. And there was a third of us. There was also another man that the fans might be familiar with named Chris Dickinson, who actually, you know, both guys I'm speaking about are actually the Evolve Tag Team Champions right now. So shout out to them, you know, for you know, being relentless and never letting up and finally getting a shot. My time with tagging with Mangwe was great. You know, we have natural chemistry. We think alike. We used to look alike. You know, all that helped the tag team out. Unfortunately, you know, I moved down to Florida and the tag team kind of disbanded. You know, I think we had a lot of unfinished business and a lot of, you know, goals that we could have tackled together. But you know, if Mangwe isn't gonna, actually his name is Jaka now, he goes by.
Okay.
But you know, if I can have him as a tag partner, I'm glad that he's doing that with Chris, because he's another one that, you know, the chemistry, sometimes you just can't teach it, and all three of us have been like that with each other from karate on. So you know, tagging with him is some of the best, you know, best memories of my life, and it was a really cool time.
Great. Awesome. Talking about cool times, what do you think, or which one do you think was your best match when you were at the Indies?
When I was tag teaming.
Yes, or individual, whatever you think it was your best match or best matches.
Oh, um, well, tag teaming with him, I remember we wrestled Devin Moore and Drew Blood, who are based out of the Philadelphia area. You know, they were pretty popping at the time, and we had some good chemistry with them. We wrestled another tag team called All Money Is Legal. We wrestled a team from CZW, which I really liked. It was our WXW C4, which is owned by Samu. It was his biggest show of the year. It's an outside event. You know, a couple of thousand people pile out there. So we had a good time with the CZW boys. You know, matches like that. As far as singles goes, man, it's really hard to put one. Uh, but I will give you one off the top of my head, and it was actually against my former partner,
Wow.
Mangwe. We actually wrestled in December of 2011. It won the match of the year for the company that year, and it was the first time we got to really, you know, do our thing. You know, being apart from each other for a couple of years and then coming back and building a storyline out of it, and then getting to, wrestle with each other when both of us have only gained more experience since the first time. I think that was cool and it added to the match. So I'll definitely put that one up there.
Great, great, awesome, awesome. These matches can be found in YouTube, for example, or it's a little bit more
Yeah,
difficult.
I know that one has highlights on YouTube. You know, a lot of my full matches from WXW are up on YouTube. Not sure if you can catch that one, but I would definitely go out of your way to find it, whether it be, you know, through DVD or whatever, because it was a special one for me.
Okay, okay, good, good. We'll search for it. We'll search and share it. Okay. Okay, so moving forward again on your wrestling career, 2015. You got a call from WWE. That's when you had the possibility to enter the Cruiserweight Championship. So how did the WWE approach to you? How was that first encounter?
Um, well, over the years, I've had many tryouts with the company. You know, I kind of building myself a little resume. You know, I'm always, you know, I live outside of Orlando, so I'm always available when it comes to any kind of extra work. You know, just paying dues, doing what you got to do, and you know, I think I built up a certain amount of, you know, decent tryout matches, I guess, well enough or good enough for Mr. William Regal to give me the chance. Uh, you know, William Regal, he's one of the main guys that is helping you during the tryout process. Um, you know, talent development is his specialty. Finding talent and finding stars, I think, is what he's all about.
Mhm.
But anyway, I got approached about this. It was the Royal Rumble weekend, so technically it would be 2016. But you know, it was a few months before the Classic took place. I was presented with this, you know, with this shot, which was anything, yeah, everything that you could hope for and ask for. You know, to finally be on the platform that you dream about, and you know, somebody sees enough in you to give you that chance. That was all. That's all good stuff. So William Regal was the guy. There was a bunch of follow-ups. You know, as the months went on, it started getting more and more exciting. And you know, before you knew it, it was game time.
Good, good, good. Very interesting. So, and when you start participating there, did you feel nervous? Did you feel anxious? What thoughts crossed through your mind?
Well, you know, I don't know anybody that wouldn't be nervous in that situation, but you know, you just got to overcome that, and that's when the confidence sets in. You know, this is what you always dream about. So it ain't no sense of backing down now or you know being scared. Um, but you know, I just remember just lots of excitement. Um, you know, I knew that the tournament was going to be pretty big and pretty prestigious. Uh, I didn't think that it would um, lead to, you know, the birth of the entire division and the rebirth of the championship and all this stuff, which I think it speaks how well the Cruiserweight Classic turned out. So, you know, it's very special to be a part of something like that.
Mhm. Great. And you had your first your match. You had a match there against Kota Ibushi. What were your thoughts about that match? What can you tell us about it?
Well, I actually found out maybe 2 days before the
Wow.
match took place. Um, but I was very familiar with Ibushi. Um, you know, I try to see what's going on in wrestling everywhere, and obviously, this man has been, you know, just putting on these classic matches, especially in Japan.
Hmm.
And it's obvious the WWE wanted him as a representative of Japan, and so I was very familiar with his reputation going in, and but at the same time, I'm here to shine too. So nobody was going to take that away from me. So it was a good contrast, and you know, he was a very nice guy leading up to everything. Very cool. Very limited to no English.
Hmm.
So that was new for me. But you know, nobody could have stopped me from doing what I wanted doing what I wanted to do once I was on this platform. That's what it's all about. So it was great, man. It was uh, he's as every good as I thought he was gonna be. You know, it's different watching somebody, and then it's different being in the ring with him.
Hmm.
Uh, the guy is just a ridiculous natural. Um, you know, his style is second to none, and you know, I enjoyed every second of it. Hopefully, he did too.
Good, good. And I understand that it was because of this match that you had the chance to continue working with WWE, right? Because then you appeared in 205 Live and then on NXT, correct?
Yeah. It definitely led to more opportunities. And NXT was first before 205. Um, but either way, you know that match did help. You know, it did help me for whatever I'm doing now. So you know, being on the WWE network, there's nothing like it. Being under the WWE banner, there's nothing like it.
Hmm.
It's just, you know, it's just world renowned, recognized, and you know, I'm very grateful for that they gave me that opportunity. You know, it's led to even some opportunities in on the indies as well. So you know, anything to keep pushing forward and getting the name out and getting the experience. You know, that's what it's all about. So that match definitely helped a lot.
Right here in the Argentinian wrestling fans here, I think we all follow the Cruiserweight Classic, 205, and of course NXT. So we expect to see more of this kind of matches in the WWE network. What can we expect from you in the company in the WWE?
Well, well, I think the sky is the limit, and once I really get on, I'm really going to be on. And right now, I'm still kicking down the door. I'm in the process of that. But I just show up, and every time, I just try to get better. I'm always working on things. I'm always tweaking things. Um, staying busy and getting experience is the best thing for me right now. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm very hungry to achieve more with the company. I think it was a great first match to have with the company as far as special wise. I don't think you could ask for anything else from your first match. Besides maybe being on a Raw or SmackDown or something like that. But to be introduced as one of 32 of the best in the world, um, I'll never forget that. It was pretty humbling, even in the locker room. Being surrounded by such great talent. So the sky's the limit, man, and I expect to be back more, and I expect to give the fans a taste of something that maybe they wouldn't expect out of me, to begin with.
Mhm. Great. And well, you answered one of the questions that we have prepared for you about your goals in the WWE. But I would like to add, uh, regarding the indie world, the independent circuits, what are your goals there? What would you like to achieve?
Well, obviously, the indies, I think wrestling in general has hit a really good spot in, I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, of course.
Okay. Um, as far as the indies, you know, uh, the indies is right in the mix right now of everything great going on with wrestling. As far as more opportunities, more people coming out to shows, more talent getting bookings and chances. So my main thing is just to stay busy and work for obviously you want to work for the top quality companies that are out there, and that should be your goal. Um, just getting the most out, for what you want, the most eyes on you, the best talent to work with. So that would be my goal moving forward.
Okay, great. Do you have a dream match? I mean, is there anyone that you would like to wrestle with? If you could choose anyone, who would that person be?
Um, and every time I'm asked this, even though sometimes it's hard to vision it, I would have to go back to all my favorites. I would have to go to my favorite either past or current wrestlers that either influenced me or inspired me or made me want to take a piece of their game. So I would say even though he's retired, Shawn Michaels would be that guy for me. Um, you know, uh, Eddie Guerrero would have been a really a guy for me. Um, if you want to switch over to the cruiserweights, um, I think me and Rich Swann, that would be pretty cool. As far as the cruiserweights go in general, I think I can mix it up with a lot of those guys that I haven't had the opportunity yet. Um, I think AJ Styles would be a dream match. I think Seth Rollins. All the guys that I'm naming. You kind of figure their style out, and along the way, even though you're on your own personal journey like I am, you still see what everybody's doing, and you still aspire to do what those guys are doing. So I would say those names just to name a few.
Great, great. I have a question on my own now that just came up when I was listening to you. Well, you mentioned that you prepare yourself some sort of a resume of your career, and I kind of think because I work as a recruiter, I work in human resources, And I'm a little bit curious. How is the resume of a wrestler? How does he present himself when he wants to be hired or work with some promotion?
Well, I think in my case, I was referring more of a resume of tryout matches. I've had many tryouts now. My first one was dating back to I think it was the end of 2010. So I've been looked at on and off for a long time now, and I can remember the last two or three tryout matches. Getting some really good feedback from whether it be William Regal himself, whether it be whoever's coordinating the talent that day or the extras. So I don't know. I just felt like I could be completely wrong, and maybe there's another reason, but that's what I feel is because every tryout that passes by, I always go home and I go back to the drawing board and I soak in everything that I was told, and I just adapt and try to make changes. Uh, so I try to come back just a little bit better. And if I was told something one time, I try not to make that mistake the next time. So that's kind of what I mean about building the resume up.
Okay.
I would love I'm sure a lot of guys, all it takes for them is one tryout match or one camp, and then the company sees something in them, and they end up getting signed. But for me, it wasn't. It's not that easy. I'm still fighting, but it's a good fight, and it's a fight that I'm happy to be fighting. So that's kind of what I meant for the resume.
Oh, okay. So, and well, right now, if you ask me, being in WWE, being in NXT, in 205, it's something important now in your resume.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like every performance is important. No matter how long it is, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever. And I'm just here to maximize my performance and maximize my minutes. Uh, Always experimenting, always trying to improve. So I think that all that contributed, or it kind of contributes me being brought back, frequently.
Great, great. Okay, so and last but not least, since we always ask to all the professionals, and especially from us from Argentina, here the wrestling business is growing, and it's looking at talents like you, admiring, trying to learn from what they see on television, on the network, on YouTube, from Japan, from Canada, from United States. So now that you have the chance, that you have a lot of Argentinians and Latin Americans listening to you, what advice can you give them for all of them who want to become wrestlers? What advice can you give to them?
Um, I would definitely say, well, first of all, this is a 24/7 thing. The mindset is everything. Keeping your body going, whether it be in the gym all week long or whether it be some other way to keep your body, moving and going. That's all important. You don't just get in the ring and do your 10, 15 minutes and then, it's not like there's no work in between. So, definitely be prepared. I always tell people to have a good mindset coming into it, and be willing to learn and work hard and be ready to fail. There's only so many guys that pick it up like that overnight, but consistency is the key. I would just tell people to get their reps in. As far as training goes, I know at our school, it was built on basics. As far as our school used to be known as the best bumping school. Our guys took the best bumps, because we start out with lots and lots of bumps. Um, so all that's important. I would definitely say, just always stay studying. I think the resource of having a network with virtually anything you can think of, I think that's very beneficial to a lot of people. You know, don't just watch it as a fan. Study it, rewind it, do what you got to do. Just know it's, you know, just stay committed to the process. That's what I would tell them.
Mhm. Okay, great. Good, very, very good advice. Very clear. Okay, so we don't want to take much more of your time. You've been so kind for accepting this interview, and probably you're quite tired after training a lot this night. So we're going to start closing the interview. And like we say, we can have like a good practice in every interview with every person we invite to Cuenta de Tres. Um, like we say, the last words of any interview belong to the person that is invited to our house. So the microphone, Sean, the microphone is yours. Whatever you would like to say, whatever you would like to share, please. This moment is for you.
Okay, well, once again, I'd like to thank you for having me on. You know, I haven't had too many international interviews like this, so
Wow.
it's cool for me. You know, I just want to, you know, just thank everybody for supporting the business, supporting what they love, and you know, checking out interviews like this. It means a lot to me, and you know, it's all thanks to you guys for giving me the platform. And you know, just keep watching because you never know when I'm coming back to pop up on one of these things. You know what I'm saying? Once again, this is Sean Maluta, straight out of Shaolin, New York, bringing the ruckus, bringing all the savate kicks, all the kicks that you want. And just remember, it might not look like it sometimes, but it will be all eyes on me.
Great. Thank you very much. Sean, you want to share your social media, Twitter or Instagram, something you would like to share with us?
Yeah, Facebook, you know, nothing crazy there, Sean Maluta. When it comes to Twitter and Instagram, I'm at Sabatkick, SAVATEKICK. Uh, you know, hit me up on there. Try to be active as much as possible. You got a show here in Hastings, Florida, for big time wrestling on June 11th, and you know, just got back from a trip in California, so you know, doing what I got to do out here and staying busy. So if you see me on a show near you, come check it out.
Great, great, amazing. Please, everybody, please follow Sean Maluta in their social media. We gotta cheer up for him. And well, Sean, thank you very much once again. These interviews are very important for us because we had the chance to have our listeners or viewers to hear superstars from other places and also to like I say to learn from them. We want also to the wrestling business in Argentina also to grow as big as it is in other countries like yours. So this is very important for us. So good. So we're going to close the interview now. If you allow me, please, I'm sorry, but I would like to switch back to Spanish to say goodbye to our viewers or listeners at this moment. Okay.
Oh,
So
sure.
let's switch back. Thank you once again. Y bueno, muchas gracias a todos los que nos escucharon. Una nueva entrevista que se ha realizado hoy en Cuenta de Tres. Estuve yo solito en este momento, pero bueno, nos repartimos para alcanzar mucho más en esta semana que hemos tenido de todo. Así que una vez más les digo, por favor síganos en YouTube, síganos en Instagram, síganos en Twitter y en Facebook, Cuenta de Tres o CD3, CD3, como dijo acá nuestro amigo John. Así que nos estamos despidiendo en otra noche, en este momento, en otra noche de Cuenta de Tres con entrevistas internacionales. Muchas gracias a todos y nos encontramos la próxima, una vez más, con Cuenta de Tres. Muchas gracias a todos y buenas noches.